I was on methadone when I found out I was pregnant.
Are you on anything now?
I'm just on antidepressant tablets, you know. I do be kind of lonely some nights, you know, like someone to talk to, you know what I mean? My head is just wrecked, you know, trying to get everything for the child.
How do you feel in the evenings when you're on your own?
Sometimes I do, like, I'm bursting out crying for nothing, do you know what I mean? And I keep banging my head, not banging my head, my hand against the wall, you know what I mean?
And how do you find the flat here?
This flat, I don't like this flat at all. I haven't even got the heart to do it up, do you know, that way.
And, you know, do you ever worry that you might go back to drugs because your life is kind of difficult?
Sometimes when I'm sitting here on my own, I'll say I'm going to get my stone sitting on the chair while I'm watching the telly.
This is St. Teresa's Gardens, a corporation estate in Dublin's South City, just 2 miles from Stephen's Green. Nearly 1,000 people live here, over 800 of them are on social welfare. According to Dublin Corporation, some of the most deprived people in the country are living in this complex. These people are not unique. There are housing complexes like this all over the country. The lives they lead and the disadvantages they face are as much a product of state policy as the economic boom that is so visible elsewhere in our cities. 60% of the population here is aged under 25, and of those, most are under 10. Over 1 week, we spoke to just some of the people living here. This programme features some of the more extreme stories. Stories like that of twins Alan and Brian, former heroin addicts who now both have hepatitis C. Alan, can you tell me about how you got involved in heroin?
Just through boredom, I suppose. Nothing to do. Just standing around corners at night. And my friends at that time seemed to be having a great time while they were on the drugs, you know, so I thought it was better to be on drugs than not to be, because they seem to be having more fun than me, I suppose.
What do you see in your future?
I don't see a non-future. Sometimes I get really down, really paranoid. And I have to go on a walk to clear my head, but other times I do say to myself, to go to bed, I do wish to God that I wouldn't wake up the next morning. I just thinking back of all the bad things I've done on my mother, on her family, on my sisters, and like wrecking the house and all that. She did give her a hard time, and I never once said sorry to her. Never. We gave her a hard life, and we went on it. We demanded money up, or we smashed the house. We'd have her sitting in, we'd sit her on the chair and tell her she's not going out until we get the money up, till she gives us the money or gets the rent. And she'd just be sitting there crying, and you don't give a fuck. Like, but you sort of feel bad, but you don't really care. You want the money to get your girl. Then when you get it and you put it into it, like bang it into you, like now that I'm off it, when I think back at that, I feel like a real bastard, a real cunt for what I done to my mother after. She brought the 6 of us up on her own. My father died when we were 6 years of age, me and him, so she brought all of us up on her own. And she done the very best she could, and we never told her that we loved her. I never, like, we're not the type of family that say things like that.
Many people living here have serious social problems. Brian Kenna works for a local environment and employment project, which is involved in developing the complex. He believes state bodies are failing the residents living here.
The health board is not on the ground in Teresa's Gardens. They might deal with the odd individual case, but we rarely see social workers here.
Brian and residents in the complex end up compensating for the lack of state services. Today he's visiting Angela. She lives alone and suffers from a psychiatric illness. She finds it difficult to cope. Recently she had a flood in her kitchen and used her bed linen to mop up the water.
You were up with the welfare officer today, were you?
Yesterday,
Yesterday.
she said to check out Teresa for bed linen.
You used the bed linen to soak up all the water that was plugged your flat.
Yeah, that's true.
In Angela's case, she would be typical of a number of people in the complex who we feel are in need of welfare support on a more one-to-one basis. So I think Angela would need some form of sheltered housing where she would have maybe daily visits or regular supports, and it's not something that she has here, and she can often find herself very lost in what is
Lonely.
a fairly big complex, and she can be lost within that, and that's the problems Angela faces. It's not enough really just to give out money or coupons, and people should understand how Angela is living and the lack of support that she has on a daily basis.
No one to talk to or communicate with.
What's it like living here, Angela, for you?
Well, I like some of the people, some of the time, but not all the people all the time. 'Cause you know the kids give me harassment.
I do, yeah.
And it's going on 7 or 8 years.
What do you think you need for things to get better?
Communication mixed with people, socialise. If I go anywhere, nobody will let me inside the door. Even to a restaurant, they look at me. I'm a freak of nature. I'm a misfit, and they don't like the look of me, and so that's it. So I just get my few cans, come home, no television, no lights. Sometimes it is so lonely, and no one to talk to. I go to my family to disown me. I'm not accepted as a human being that has a disorder that could be treated. And I'm not going to be rejected again. I'm not going to be rejected.
Angela's son, Eddie, also lives alone in St. Teresa's. His flat has no gas and no electricity.
Just going through a bad patch at the moment, you know. Like, I was in a relationship that didn't work out and fucked my head up a bit, you know. Well, it used to be a lovely gaff, you know, just the last 2 years, you know, just let it slide, I did.
What do you do during the day?
Read, go out for walks, go to Little Flower. You get a dinner there for 20 pence, so, I mean, like, I don't have any ESP, so I just read, man. If I'm not reading, like, I'm out having a few joints, going for a walk, normal stuff, really. Yeah.
And how do you read here in the evenings if you've no gas and electricity? What do you do?
Candles, there's candles there.
And can you cook here or anything, or
Yeah, I can cook on the fire.
what do you see ahead for yourself at the moment?
What do you mean ahead for myself?
Like ahead, what do you
Career-wise?
yeah.
I don't look at life like careers.
There are over 100 single parents living in St. Teresa's Gardens. Adrienne Lennon has 4 children. She's 28 and cares for them alone. She's recently given up heroin. Her ex-partner is now in prison.
Every time my partner came into the house, we were straight into the kitchen and getting it together and shooting up drugs. He used to say to me, right, I'll be home at this time. I want to have my dinner done. If I hadn't got that done at that time, he would just argue with me, and I mean, should that kitchen there, he slapped me so much against them tiles. He bust me nose. He dragged me from the telly here right across the floor. I tried to get out just the kitchen door I tried to get out. You put a knife up to my throat, and like in the corner, like you put a knife up to my throat. Don't move, don't go out of the flat. And then he used to bite the face on me, like on each side. Like when this one had healed up, he'd bite the face off this side. And so no other fella could have me. That's the way he used to say to me. Well, no one else will have you, Adrian. You know, only me.
Why did you stay with him?
I loved him. I still do love him.
Adrian's younger brother, Patrick, was temporarily staying in her flat. He had also used heroin for years. The day before we interviewed him, he had finished a sentence in Mountjoy prison. Have you been in prison much over the years?
Well, I've been in it now since 15, 16, you know. Like small sentences, 3 months or 6 months or 12 months or 9 months, you know, like it varies.
Do you think you've been in prison for the last time now?
Well, I don't know. I reckon I'd probably be in again, like, but it wouldn't be for anything serious. It'd be probably same thing that I'm after being in for the last 30 days, like, probably stupid. Like, drunk with the sorority, like, you know, probably standing around with the lads, like, having a drink, and they'd arrest you, like, for loitering or something, like, you know, stupid charges that you probably get, like, a month for or 2 months. But, like, I'll never be going in, like, to do a heavy sentence. No way. No, because I'm just not into going in doing heavy jail. You know what I mean? There's youngsters up there that I know, and, like, Jesus, they're doing crazy jail. Crazy. Years. I wouldn't be able to. No way. I'd end up sticking myself in the window.
What's it like going in for a month? What was that like for you?
It was a bit of a break.
Patrick, Adrian, the twins and Wendy were all on methadone when we met them. Methadone is a substitute drug that has been very successful in getting people off heroin. It prevents the more extreme withdrawal symptoms of heroin detox. Just like heroin, methadone is a powerful and addictive opiate. The big difference between the two drugs is that methadone is prescribed by doctors. It's legal, it's free, and it's clean, so methadone users have less chaotic lives, commit less crime, and catch fewer diseases than heroin users. They're still addicts, but they're controlled addicts.
Methadone has been used as a way of pacifying existing addicts. We've seen addicts who are maybe 10 or 15 years on methadone. That's not a solution. That's maintaining a level of drug addiction. It's also in some cases seen as a way of addressing the drug. Maintaining a level of drug addiction. It's also in some cases seen as a way of addressing the drug problem from a law and order point of view. In other words, if we contain the problem within a certain area, say like Teresa's Gardens, and it doesn't affect surrounding areas or more middle class areas, that's good enough, but it's not.
Methadone addiction is not the only problem facing the flats. Generations of permanent unemployment have had a serious effect on people's attitude to work. The Residents' Committee is now beginning to take control of what goes on in the flats, and it's trying to tap into state funds for the benefit of the flats and the tenants.
Teresa's Gardens would have an unemployment rate of closer to maybe 65% compared to the national average of between 4 and 6%. I mean, we want a proper football pitch. And the mentality of some people, you know, may have been shaped by the fact that their older brothers and sisters were unemployed, the father was unemployed, their grandfather was unemployed, and that they've seen, you know, 20, 25 years of unemployment.
One member of the committee, Bill, got his first job in decades when he became involved in local maintenance. But Bill still has to share his daughter's flat while waiting for one of his own. How long have you been looking for a flat of your own?
Well, I've been around 3 years now trying to get back into a flat, like, you know what I mean?
Why did you lose your last flat?
Well, I had a lot of problems with my own youngsters. They ended up on drugs, and the old flat, like, was being used by my youngsters and other people. But in saying that now, I'm not condemning the other people. I sort of went too easy with it and accepted the fact that the uncles were on drugs, and eventually raiding 4 kids of my own, I let the rent go way up the mountains, if you like.
Dublin Corporation has offered Bill a flat, but it's been used by drug addicts and is in very poor condition. Bill cannot afford to do it up.
As you can see, like, it's a lot of work to be done there, but like, I know they're fairly busy, like, but I'm not knocking anyone, but as you can see, you might not be able to notice that, but that's actually blood on that wall there, you know what I mean? And I have found 1 or 2 syringes in it. In here even, look. You can see the likes of that, like, this is all supposed to be done, like, and these pipings and all this here, and I can only say that's about the only thing that's been done as well. That gas is actually working. So it's not much good having the gas working when you can't live in it, you know what I mean? It's like a squat. And you know what I mean? I don't be living in a squat. I've seen enough people in squats and sleeping on streets.
Bill's children are adults now and are off heroin. Bill will be living here alone.
Well, I was married anyway, and myself and the wife, we broke up, and I ended up with the kids, and I sort of left her open if she wanted the kids, and she didn't really go for it. So I ended up with the 4 kids, and unfortunately, like, a few years after, she came back, and she wanted to start fresh again. I couldn't do it. But unfortunately, I didn't know. A few weeks after she died, you know. So I think she knew she was dying, and she more or less came home. But I don't know, really. I think she came home to make the peace. And I didn't know at the time, because a few weeks after, I got a message from my sister to say that she was dead. She died out in Bournemouth Hospital.
What happened to her?
Hepatitis B.
Was that related to drug use, or?
I honestly don't know now. She was with some individual, like, that he wasn't a very nice person, like. And I heard, like, that, I heard rumours that she was dabbling, and then I heard she wasn't. She may have contacted other ways, but she was that bad anyway. When I went to the hospital and all that, they wouldn't allow me to open the coffin. She was that bad, like, you know what I mean? So that's where I was coming from, and that's where I've been. And I just want to get back to myself, you know what I mean? I'm getting a bit of, well, not too old, but I just want a bit of peace now and have my own little flat and get on with life and hope the best, you know?
There are no proper play facilities in the complex. This area is used more for joyriding than children's games. And after years of promises, there's still no sign of a corporation-approved football pitch. So what would you like up here? Like, what would make it better?
I wouldn't be asking for too much. All I'd be asking for is a football pitch. Because, like, it was meant to be a playground, you know what I mean? Look at it now, it's nothing. The goalpost is gone. You can't play football. You can hardly see the white lines. There's nothing, look at it. You're looking at it, man. It's in bits. There's nothing to do. So, what can you say when people turn to other things?
So what do you do all day here?
To be honest with you, we stand on a corner doing sweet F all. Nothing. It's crap. Why do you think everyone's turning to what they turn to? Because they've nothing else to do. Like, you turn around and say, "Oh, we won't rob a car, we'll have a game of football." Where are we going to have a game of football? Do you know what I mean?
And, you know, all the talk at the moment about Ireland being such a wealthy country, you know, what do you think about that?
The booming economy and all that. There's no booming economy. The economy that's booming is town and all. It's not here. It's flats like this that needs to be sorted out. Like these flats, Fatima, Barn, all them, like, wealthy country. We're not wealthy, look at it.
The lack of play and childcare facilities can cause problems for many of the mothers in the flats. Some find it difficult to have a life outside the home. Depression and isolation are common. Donna is a single mother of 4.
Donna, what age are you now?
I'm 35 years of age.
And you've been living here for?
Altogether about 18, but in this flat about 7.5, nearly 8 years. About 5 years ago, I ended up on drugs.
And how did you finance your drug habit?
My payment every week, what I was getting paid, and my sisters, they gave me money as well, and my dad now, he's very good. He used to give me money as well. So
And were your sisters on drugs?
they were on drugs as well, yeah, yeah.
So what were they doing for money?
They were down in Bagot Street. They were walking down there for that money for drugs.
In prostitution?
Yeah,
Do you think you'll be on methadone for the rest of your life?
yeah. I could never see myself coming off that neither. I know once I have that there, I'm okay, you know. I can get through the day.
Donna gets £130 a week. After she pays her rent and bills, she has about £70 to cover food and all remaining costs for her family of 5.
And what about things then, like when the children need clothes or shoes?
Vincent and Paul, they're in the area and they're very good. They call out to you every week, so they kind of give you a voucher to get shoes and jacket and that for them, you know, for Christmas, so it's not too bad.
And do you ever get out yourself?
No, never go out.
So, I mean, when's the last time you had a social night out or a treat?
About 7, 8 years ago was the last time I was out.
7 or 8 years ago?
Mm.
Oh, so you haven't been to a pub or...
No. No.
And do you miss that?
I do, yeah, because you have no friends. Like, all I have is my sisters. Whereas if you were out, like, you'd meet friends, like, and so you really have no friends, you know. Only your own, only your family.
And how do you feel? I mean, does it get you down?
It does, yeah, staying in all day. It does get you down.
Do you think that it's going to change for you?
No, never change. I'll always be like this. Like, you hear people going out and buying their wallpaper to decorate their house for Christmas. No, I can't do that. You know? Yeah, it stays the way it is.
So what do you see ahead in your future?
None. This is going to be me. This is where I'll be in years to come. Still the same.